Good evening. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Show City Council to order. By roll call, see that all council members are present with the exception of Council Member Hatch, who's excused this evening. We'd like to welcome those that are here tonight in attendance, as well as those who may be watching this evening on City 56. We're grateful for your participation and being here this evening. We'd like to begin with an invocation. I will offer that, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Vice Mayor. Those who'd like to join with us, please stand. Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful for the opportunity which we have to meet this evening to do the business of the city of Sholo. We're grateful for the citizens that live within our community and those who strive each day to lift one another. We're so grateful for the opportunities that we've had and for thy guidance and thy direction and protection. We ask you to bless those who are battling fires within our state, that they might be able to be protected and that we might be able to soon have rains upon our land. And we're so grateful that we've been protected in our area. Heavenly Father, we're thankful for those first responders and those people who have been so caring to others during this COVID-19. We express our deep gratitude for those who have lost loved ones and those who have suffered so greatly. If it be thy will, we pray that this will soon pass, that we'll be able to find relief and be able to have guidance and direction and be able to continue as normal life is. Heavenly Father, we love thee. We give thee thanks for the many blessings that we have, for our health and for our strength that we enjoy. We're thankful for the unity that we have in our community and for those who seek to do well and to do good. We pray that there will be peace in the areas of the nation that are in unrest at this time, that they'll look to better themselves and better one another and not speak ill of others. And we're grateful for all that we have, and we ask for thy blessings tonight as we deliberate the affairs of Sholo, that we might do so with understanding and unity, that we'll be able to have wisdom beyond our own, be able to make a decision. We ask you to bless those who may be less fortunate in our area, that we'll turn to them and help them in their time of need as well. We give thee thanks at this time and ask for thy direction and spirit in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item we have tonight is a call to the public. Any citizen desiring that's within the jurisdiction of the city desiring to speak on an item may do so at this time. Know that your time is limited to 3 minutes and we cannot necessarily engage in a dialogue with you. Please come forward and state your name if you like. Mrs. Owens, good to see you this evening.
I wanted to discuss.
Can you state your name and address, please?
Joy Owens, 980 East Huning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I would like to discuss Sholo's drainage. And in case you don't know, there are 5 major drainage washes from snow or rain that comes across my property. The east comes from the industrial park. Then there's Sholo Creek and all of Main Street and the soccer fields. And Patrick's Wash comes from the west. Patrick's Wash was never finished to the creek, but was just allowed to go on private property, farmland, where it made quite a mess for property owners. Ed Mutter wrote my husband and I a few years back to see if we would let the city have a drainage ditch across our property to drain water from the soccer field to the creek. And we said, yes, of course we would. We didn't charge the city anything, but they were to maintain it, but they didn't. 3 years ago, I started reminding them it was in bad shape. And finally, there was a good crew that came and they did a great job. They really did a great job. And I am thankful for that. The drainage from Main Street comes down 9th place on my property, in front of the county and the city building and the soccer field where we used to drive our milk cows home to milk them. And I'm still paying taxes on that particular piece of property. Now to get to the real sore spot, and that's the creek. At Shola Lake, there's a spillway that releases the excess water when it's full. For some reason, the city doesn't want the water to go over the spillway. I don't know the reason for that. Or they would have put culverts under the road so the water would go through the culverts. There are also valves, and Shola Irrigation uses those valves to release the water in the summertime for the shareholders of the irrigation company for irrigation purposes. This city also has keys to those valves and releases water in the winter when the lake's full. The trouble is, the city releases more water than is daily coming in to Shola Lake from Lakeside. And when they release more water, it causes quite a flood, and it carries all sorts of debris. There's light poles and shopping carts and dead trees and refrigerators and tires and auto parts, dressers, mattresses, beaver dams, dead animals, and lots and lots and lots of extra dirt.
Your 3 minutes is up. Is there somebody who would like to yield another 3?
Okay.
What?
Yeah, you have another 3 minutes. They yielded another 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
This debris collects the dirt and then is able to change the natural course of the stream. My husband cleaned it out on our property for over 70 years. The last time we hired somebody to clean the creek, the city stopped us by posting stop work order all over our property. There's the city ordinance stating you can't dump on your neighbor's property, but in this case, it's the city that opens the valves full blast without maintaining the waterway. FEMA suggested in their letter on Patrick's Wash in 1990 that it is the city's responsibility to maintain any water course. And this is a quote, assure that the water course, assure that the flood carrying capacity within the altered or relocated portion of any water course is maintained. This certainly applies because all of the debris and dirt has taken out and altered my property. Okay, I invite any of you council members or others who might be interested to come and take a look. And I'll show you exactly where I'm coming from. And I brought that letter from FEMA, and I have some pictures, and I would like to have anybody that wants to look. Oh, let's see.
You can just leave them here and then we'll pass them down. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. We'll give them to the city clerk. Can we keep these? Can we keep these for a while?
Yes.
Okay, we'll give them to the city clerk and then we'll look at them. Thank you. Anyone else for call to the public? Seeing nobody moved, I'll close call to the public and come back to special events where we have a presentation of Local First Arizona Foundation. Looks like they're not here, so we'll move to the next item. Here's the consent calendar. Any items on the consent calendar that need to be pulled? I've had a request to pull item 7H to discuss it separately. The one with the Chamber of Commerce. Any other items that need to be discussed separately? You know, I'll look for a motion to approve the consent calendar exception of 7H, and the items would be consideration of appointment of a director of the Shoal Industrial Development Authority, consideration of a resolution adopting an annual policy prescribing procedure for purchasing for the mayor and any member of the council, agreement with Shoal Main Street fiscal year, consideration of the renewal of the agreement with White Mountain Mills on Wheels, consideration of the renewal of agreement with the Shoal Historical Society, consideration of the approval of an annual purchase orders for fiscal year 2020-2021, consideration of the adoption of Resolution R 2020-12, designated the Chief Financial Officer for the City of Shoal and authorizing to submit the current fiscal year's annual expenditure limitation report, consideration of Resolution R 2020-15, accepting Arizona CARES grant funds from the state of Arizona, consideration of the approval of the list of city-owned vehicles as exempt vehicles from registration, consideration of the resolution approving intergovernmental agreement with the Arizona Department of Transportation, consideration of acceptance of Creekside at Eagle Mountain Units 1, consideration of the non-commercial ground lease with Walter T. and Cheryl L. Kuhn, and termination of the non-commercial ground lease, consideration of the acceptance of the grant funds from the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, Brownsville State Response Grant for Phase 2 Environmental Site Assessment, and the consideration of the minutes of the Shoal City Council of the meeting of June 2nd, special meeting, and also regular meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Clark. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? See that pass 6-0. Now we'll come back to item 7H, consideration of the renewal of the agreement with the Shoal Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Justin Johnson, or who, just the questions you may have, or go ahead and cover that first, Justin, and then we'll, if there's any questions, we'll go to that.
So I didn't bring the staff summary with me.
All right.
So apologize for
It's
that.
at this meeting on the November 5th, 2019, the council approved the agreement with the Chamber of Commerce to operate the Tourist Information Center for a period of 6 months. In preparation for the upcoming contract renewal, city staff met with the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce and explained the council's interest in finding ways to improve the TIC for providing information to visitors through social media and other electronic means. Staff also explained that the Chamber would need to present items for improving the TIC to the council before any type of renewal will be considered. And this agreement will renew the contract with the Chamber as outlined for the period of July 1st to September 30th in the amount of $14,375. The Chamber will provide monthly reports on activity, and city staff and Chamber will continue to meet regularly to discuss ways to improve the TIC. I'll open it up now to council for any questions you may have. Councilmember Leach first, then Councilmember Clark.
I guess the biggest heartache I have for this is we've been putting this off. We've given extension for something that the Chamber's going to do for us for the money that we were allocating for them. And we did it for 6 months and 3 months, and now we're doing it again. And granted, there's not a lot in 3 months. I think if we extend this, I personally think it's a waste of money. But with the COVID going on, extending it 3 more months is a waste of money. But you guys know how I feel about what the Chamber's done in the past for the money that we've gave them. I always have said it was a waste of money, and the reason I wanted it pulled more than anything is input from the rest of the council. I just think with COVID going on and a lot shutting down, what could they do for us in the next 3 months that we can't do for ourselves for that $14,000? And I just wanted to hear what everybody else thought about it, because I'm hoping that the direction of our tourist information goes in another direction for sure. But I was just more curious of what the rest of the council thought more than anything.
Thank you. Councilmember Clark.
Mayor and members of the council, I feel like I should just disclose that I had a member of the, I believe the executive board of the Shoal Chamber reach out to me regarding an internal matter that's going on with the Chamber in my capacity as a deputy county attorney. It had nothing to do with this contract or anything like that, but they reached out to me to get advice
as a county attorney employee. So I just want to make sure the council was aware of that, and I had a discussion with the board.
That's fine. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, and I was contacted too, just to ask questions about where we thought the chamber is going and everything else. So I just want to disclose that I was talked to too.
Is there a representative of the chamber like to share anything tonight?
We do have Delilah Edwards. She's the chairperson over the board for the chamber, if the council would like to ask questions.
Okay.
Well,
Hello, Delilah.
Good evening.
Hi. As many of you know, I've been involved with the chamber from almost the moment I moved here to Shoal 11 years ago. I've worked for the chamber. I've been on the board. I've been an ambassador. I volunteered my time for numerous events.
Could you move a little closer so we can pick you up on the mic? Thank you.
Sorry, no problem.
Thank you.
I want to share with you that Jimmy is no longer with the chamber. He has found another opportunity. We wish him well, and we thank him for 6 great years of service. I covered the phones and sat in the chamber office for the 4 days until we could get that straightened out. I just did some little tick marks on phone calls I took. Monday, I took 22 calls, and those phone calls were all about tourist information. Where can I get a map? How can I find this? Where does that lead to? Are the roads open? Are the lakes open? Are the majority, even from way back when I was there, this time of year, it is all TIC information. People are still coming in for a map of the trails. They're still looking for information in paper form. And still the majority of the people who come in are still older citizens. I do think there is a percentage of the population where we need to look at move to digital media, but there is still, we are still calling for resources to be sent to us in paper form for these people who walk in through the door. They're calling about Shoal Days. Is it going on? They've called about the Freedom Fest. They've called about the parade. They're calling about the Snowflake Taylor rodeos. They've called for a number of things to find out if things are going on. And the majority of these people aren't people who live up here. They're people who travel to here or are planning to travel here. The other big question is, what's the COVID like up there, which is an everyday conversation anymore. Just month to date, the number of people who have walked through the door, we have 155 as the end of today. Those are all people looking for information. I don't have the breakdown on where they live specifically, but the majority of them are from out of our area. They're not local residents coming in. There's very few of the local residents coming in. So I think there's still some value that the chamber can provide with the TIC. I do think it does need revamping a little bit. We're not sure what that looks like today. It probably does need to start moving towards a bigger digital platform. It's like the phone book. It's going away. The papers, maps are eventually going to go away. I've done some chamber outreach, and so some of my board members, we've talked to Scottsdale. I had trouble finding a chamber in Arizona that had kind of the cultural and diversity that we have here. So I covered Elko, Nevada for a while as part of my job when I worked at Frontier, which is a very similar demographic to Shoal. They have people coming out of Las Vegas that travel up there for the cooler air, and they have some ideas that they shared with me that I think would work well in Shoal as well. I also reached out to Sparks, Nevada for the same reason. But the majority of the people who are coming in are an older demographic still looking for paper. And I don't see that going away anytime soon right now. You said you don't know what we can do during COVID. We field a lot of calls about COVID. Where can we get information? Where is it at? How is the hospital handling? I mean, I've fielded all kinds of questions on that the 4 days I sat there and answered the phone. So people call for a multitude of reasons. Today I got calls on Shoal Days being canceled. So questions I can answer?
Sorry, Councilmember Clark.
Hey, Delilah. So how is the staffing going to be with Jimmy gone? And what's your guys' plan for the interim and over the next couple of months?
We do have a volunteer who's worked for the chamber for many years still in there. She's covering it Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 4, and my board will pick up Thursday and Friday, and we have a volunteer for Saturday, 9 to 1. So the
there
staff
won't be a disruption service at all?
No. Even we had a little trouble with one of the volunteers answering the phone. I had it forwarded in 15 minutes to my phone, and I was taking the call. I took calls for 4 days sitting in my office. So, but there was still someone physically there helping people find stuff, navigate stuff. So.
Councilmember.
That was same question, because obviously for the money, it's 14,000 or something for 3 months, and now you're talking volunteers doing it, and
We're actively going to be seeking someone full-time. We just haven't gotten to get the ad posted and everything yet. It will post, I'm hoping, in the next.
Councilwoman Kakavas.
So Dalila, has the board met and talked about the future arrangement with the city and what your vision is for the TIC in conjunction with the chamber? What's the vision of the board, and how are we going to make this be a more productive partnership for the city?
Right.
And the
We
chamber?
have discussed it. We got a little sidetracked in the last month or so. There is a regular board meeting, and it is the top item on the agenda for that meeting. I'd love to report back to you after we've had further discussions about what it is we're going to make it look like and how it's going to be different. Now we're still posting things. The Forest Service sent a red flag warning, so getting that up. There was the Nature Center open back up. We put that up. So everyone's still sending information. So the Facebook page should be getting updated regularly with all those updates that people send us. I know that the hospital sent us COVID-19 additional testing dates. We put that up. So we're trying to make it so it's seamless and nobody really knows that there's been a change, and that'll give us some time to get to the board meeting. The board members have all been asked to come with ideas. So everybody's doing their little piece to do some research.
Any other comments, questions?
I'll just say one last thing, if that's okay, Mayor.
Sure.
Like I said, I've been with the chamber for 11 years. It was one of the first things I did when I came here. I believe there's still a place of value, and we want to partner with the city to make the TIC more robust. I know that's what you've asked for. I think it needs to happen. It's definitely the hot item within the board, and I want to come to the next council meeting with some solid ideas and information for you to look at and think about, so that you feel you are getting your money out. The last thing I want to do is waste the city's money. I know how important it is that our taxpayer dollars get spent wisely. I do think this is a wise investment, and it always has been. At one point, it paid my paycheck. So, and I can tell you just from that, this time of year, I did more TIC work, and I was a chamber employee, because every time someone comes in, there has to be someone to help them. So we do quite a bit of work during this time of year now. As the season tapers off, it slows down. So thank you for the time.
I have one more
Appreciate it.
question.
Any other comments of council? Yes.
What will happen? What will you guys do if we don't approve the extension tonight?
Well, we still have a chamber to run, so we'll still run the chamber portion of it. And people are still doesn't matter if they're coming in for, where's the best coffee house, or I need a map of a trail, we're still going to have the maps of the trails in there. It's a service that every chamber provides. And unless you guys decide to open up a building where people can go to do that kind of thing, I think it would be the right thing to do for the city and for our tourism.
Do you think you can be back before us at our next meeting, which are in our July? We only meet one time, so that's going to be towards the middle of July, 21st of July there, with a plan that's
I absolutely
outlined and
can.
things there.
Our next board meeting is at the end of this month, last Wednesday of the month. So we will, if you'd like that, I will make sure that we come with that.
I'd almost like to rectify this, go ahead and approve this, but make it continued upon a month-to-month basis here over the next 3 months. And then as we get more information from you, then we can continue, but we could revoke it at any time during that 90 days possibly. But that gives you a chance, gives us a chance to evaluate a little bit more and we do appreciate the opportunity that we have to work with you. We appreciate what you do. This is a very significant time of the year for us, and we know that you guys may be a little shorthanded, but you have a great board and you have people that could step up and continue to do that. And we hope that you can provide something that we can feel that can benefit our community and help tourism, because that becomes one of our main industrious things that we need to look at. Is not industrious, but one of our main items of income as far as the tourism is very important to this community.
I
as the
understand.
ones around it. So
We'd appreciate the opportunity. I think we can do some good things. We've got some great people on the board who have some wonderful ideas. We just need to get them
Thank you.
to you.
There. Councilmember Kelly?
I would like to say I support your concept. I do not want to just drop it right here and now, because I don't think we're ready to pick it up. To put it on a month to month, I guess I'm okay with that as long as, well, we're going to be reasonable as council. So we need this service, whether we provide it for ourselves or whether we use a different means of providing it. I, for one, appreciate it being questioned over the years as to what has been happening. So I'll just say I support your comment, Mayor. I would vote to continue this with it understood that we can pull the plug on a 30-day notice instead of a 90-day notice, if you will.
Would you like to make a motion on that?
Was that a motion?
Sure.
Is you okay with that, city attorney?
It's already in the contract, Mayor. We have a 30-day out. It's already,
Right.
Mr. Brown already
Right.
put that in.
We can bail with the 30 days. So the standard motion here would suffice and would allow us to say, we're done. This isn't going in.
Okay. That's fine, but we do want to see you back, Delilah, with the plan. Okay, we really encourage you to do that. Okay.
Me too.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to appreciate you coming out and talking to us. So just air it out and see another perspective of it, because some of us haven't seen a lot of that. So it's good to hear what's going on. You know, you're in a difficult situation with everything that's happening with Jimmy and going with the chamber. I do agree with the mayor and Kelly about to see what you can do, see if you can keep it going for us or not. And then we can weigh out our options later on.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you.
Some board members who have great ideas.
I look for a motion then. We'll just have the regular motion, but we reemphasize that I think we have a 30-day out as it is, right?
I'll make the motion.
Hey, Vice Mayor?
I second it.
Well, you so
You want me
moved.
to? Yeah,
You gotta
I'll just
read
so
the
move.
motion, please.
Okay.
He said he'd make that motion. I said I'd second it.
Okay,
Did I say something wrong?
That's all right. You want me to read it?
please.
Okay. I move to renew the agreement between the City of Show Low and the Show Low Chamber of Commerce in the period of July 1st, 2020 to September 30th, 2020, and authorizing the mayor to sign said agreement.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second by Councilmember Kelly.
Seconded with emphasis that we do have in the agreement a 30-day out.
And I think that's in the contract, correct? Yeah. Any other discussion?
Real quick, just clarify that the heartache I had for it was the promises. I mean,
I understand.
we've set up here for how many years and get these promises, and we extended another year, and then this last year we go, no, we're going to go 6 months, and did that again. And so it was all the promises. It had nothing to do with the chamber. It was just all the promises for whatever money. I don't even know the exact figure. And sitting up here hearing all the promises. Yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to do this. And yes, you have an awesome board, by the way.
Thank you very
I know
much.
them all personally, and I think the direction of that board, I know will go in the right direction. So that was my heartache. It had nothing to do, it wasn't personal, I don't think, but the promises were just getting old.
No, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your candor.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passed 6-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Next item is item 8, new business, consideration of resolution R 2020-14, adopting the tentative budget and establishing the expenditure limitation for fiscal year ending June 30th. Mr. Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. I have a short 4-hour presentation for you
right.
guys tonight.
I got to edit.
Sharing that with us.
Good
We
night.
got a 6-hour break.
So part of the legal process for the budget is for the council to adopt a resolution and adopt a tentative budget. So that's why we're here tonight. Just a quick recap. We try to be transparent as we can with our budget. We have multiple study sessions and town halls to get all the information out there and provide opportunities for input. We had the draft tentative budget at our June 2nd meeting, which we covered any of the changes that we made to the city manager's recommended budget. And then tonight we have the tentative budget for you. And then upcoming in July, our only meeting in July, we'll have our final budget adoption, and then August 4th, adoption of the secondary tax rate for the Streetlight Improvement District. As we build our budget, we work with the council's main goals and priorities with those in mind when we try to structure the budget, and we try to fund those on a priority basis. And we feel like we give opportunities for residents, staff, and the council to all have input on the budget with regards to these goals. As a comparison, our adopted budget for the last 5 years, you can see it's fairly consistent. Some of the spikes are in line with larger projects, like maybe at the airport runway, which we had in 2019. This year we have a little over $3 million in capital carryovers, which are projects that weren't finished that will carry over to fiscal year 2021. So that's the reason why we're up a little bit compared to 19 and up quite a bit from 20. Our adopted budget versus actual, this is a comparison of what we adopt as a budget versus what we actually spend in the budget. We're estimating that for fiscal year 20, we're going to spend about $38.5 million. And then that money that's not spent either rolls over into the unappropriated surplus in the general fund, or it's a capital carryover that rolls over for projects into the next fiscal year. So this is a breakdown of our funding sources. Our beginning fund balance is 37%. Our operating revenues are 50%. Then we have interfund transfers and other financing sources. Our beginning balance for this year is $26,500,000. This is from savings. This is also includes reserves from prior years. On other financing sources, we have $4 million of unanticipated money. This is budget authority for the council to authorize. Let's say we get a grant, for example, that was not built into the budget. This is a placeholder, so we don't make any changes to our expenditure limitation, which the council approves, because once the expenditure limitation is approved in the tentative budget, we can increase it. Then we have operating revenues, $35.6 million. Those are revenues that we collect throughout the year for fees and services that are provided. There's a breakdown of our operating revenues. Local taxes, 31.4%, and state shared revenues, also taxes, coming in at 13.6%. We have utility fees, which is our second largest source of income, and then charges for service at 12.7%. On our utility fees, here's a breakdown of the $9.1 million for water, $4.9 million for wastewater, $3.2 million. And as a reminder, we had a resolution adopted in 2014 that allows us to do a CPI adjustment to our wastewater rates. For this year, since we made an increase to the water preservation fee, the council suggested that we not do the CPI increase for the water rates. So the monthly rate for water did not go up this year for the CPI, but there was an increase to the water preservation. And then our last meeting, we talked about our sanitation fees. They will be increasing 69 cents from $15.09 to $15.78. Keeping in mind there that last year, the fund balance of the sanitation fund absorbed half of the increase. And then the year before that, we did not apply any increase to our customers. So over the last 3 years, the fund's been doing well, so we've been able to absorb some of that increase and spread it over a couple of years. The additional fee of $6.74 per cart will be unchanged for fiscal year 21. Local sales tax, we are estimating the same as the fiscal year 20 budget. We also budgeted the same for the fiscal year 21 budget of 10.5 million. Year to date, we're at 10.9, with a couple of months not recorded in this amount. So we should exceed budget for fiscal year 20. And we always try to remain conservative in case we have some type of event like the COVID or other types of issues that we have some room to make adjustments. Our state shared revenues, I mentioned at our last meeting that we had received numbers that day from the state that they're estimating that our state shared revenues will decrease. The initial estimates from the state, the increase was about the same as the decrease, so we're right on target with the latest numbers, with the numbers that we had programmed in, because we just matched the fiscal year 2020 budget numbers. This is a chart with the history on our state shared revenues. You can see going back to 15, 16, 17, in a good trend and increase there. And then 18, 19, 20, still increases, but not quite as significant. For our intergovernmental revenue, our grant revenues coming in, the council approved tonight acceptance of the AZ CARES grant, which comes through the state of Arizona, federal money filtered through the state. Then we have the MCAT, animal control, multiple library grants. We also have a large grant coming in for the transit for the 5311 grant. And then we do have a placeholder for the Scott Ranch Road if the build grant does get approved. And any new grants that aren't budgeted will come before the council before they can be accepted. This is a breakdown of the expenditures by type. Our goal from the staff's perspective is always to have a large percentage of money coming in going to capital. Infrastructure is important for cities, and I think we show that by contributing a large portion of the expenditures to capital. And then personnel and operations make up most of what the money is spent on. For personnel, we discussed at our last meeting the request for 2 additional full-time equivalents or full-time employees for community outreach and social media. I think with COVID and everything that's happened, we realized that we could do a better job and we need more people to help us get the word out on different types of issues. And I think the addition of these 2 employees was greatly needed for the city. Our retirement rate for regular state retirement employees, slight increase from 12.11% to 12.22. And then the PSPRS rate is actually, we have it listed here as unchanged because we're going to leave it the same, but because we contributed such a large amount in the last 2 years, they're actually recommending a rate of around 34%, but we want to keep paying the higher rate until we're fully funded. So in addition to that, we've included in the budget extra payments. We have 1.3 million, 300,000 of that on July 1st of 2020. And then depending on how the budget's doing towards the end of the year, we're also planning to do $1 million extra contribution. Now, our current funded status is 72%. I think that was 5.8 million. That's unfunded. And with these additional contributions, plus what we've done in 20, we expect that number to keep declining. So we're treating it like outstanding debt. We're trying to pay extra to get that paid. Any questions on the PSPRS?
I'm just going to say they gave their report for this year, and with the stock market dropping the way that it did in March and April, they said that normally the way they were invested would have just killed this, but they were able to be more diversified and they were able to maintain their returns that they were projected. And so it was a very positive contrast to what had happened in years past. So, this is in the right direction. They're finally getting, their investment strategy earmarked where they're helping instead of hurting the cause.
And for those who don't know or may not remember, the ESPRS did select a new actuary to manage that. So that's why it's changed from what it had been in the years past. They got some new eyes looking at it and heading in a better direction, hopefully. So this is our trend for full-time equivalent positions. Like I said, adding 2 from last year, we were at 164.5, and now we'll be at 166.5. This is a breakdown of personnel by service area. Public safety at 35%, and then public works at 18%. This is a breakdown of our capital and contingencies. The thing I did want to highlight on this slide is on the bottom there, the council contingencies. We've boosted that from $250,000 to $300,000 this year, and that's money that the council can use at its discretion for whatever it sees fit. So it's a good safety clause there for the council. If certain issues come up, the council could authorize use of that for whatever they deem necessary. Our reserves have always been important for us, and we've increased those for the fiscal year 21 budget to 3 months, with the exception of wastewater. We're close to 3, but we're not quite there. We want to have these funds available in case there are events that are unexpected, that we can continue operations and supply our customers and make the best use of our tax dollars. We did increase our water treatment plant reserve. There was a question at one point about what the construction cost for a water treatment plant would be, because when we had initially presented, we had old numbers. I don't remember how old they were, several years at least, and that updated cost is $4.1 million for a treatment plant. So we're getting close to having half of the money to put down on a new treatment plant if that's the way we decide to go. So I feel like we're making good progress there. Debt service for fiscal year 21, $1.9 million. There's a breakdown of all the expenditures with that. The treatment plant and the public safety building are 2 of the larger loans that we have out there. And assuming that we don't take on any additional debt, this is the trend for the next, or for through 2020 to 29, so 10-year trend on where we'll be with our total outstanding debt. This is a breakdown of our expenditures by service area. And then this is the breakdown of general fund, how the funds are expended. So what's next? We have the adoption of Resolution R 2020-14 tonight. We will advertise as required by law for 2 weeks in the paper with the completed state forms for the budget that are required. And then we'll have our final budget adoption on July 21st, which will be a public hearing and on budget and tax levy. And then we'll do the actual adoption of the tax levy for the Streetlight Improvement District on August 4th. That being said, I'm available for any questions.
Comments, questions? Councilmember Leach.
Just a comment. Thank you for getting that up on the screen this week, because it sure helped everybody in the audience.
So when we did our call-in meetings, we had a hard wire from here over to Mel's, and that got disconnected when we didn't have to use the speaker phones. So Mel wasn't prepared because he didn't realize it had been disconnected. So yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just have a question with our Congressman O'Halloran and also different senators, and then we have the president talking about infrastructure, funding more infrastructure. There'd be grants and things that would be available. Do you feel we have enough cap room in here if we were to get some big project? I know we have Scott Ranch, but maybe they gave something for building roads or improving roads. Do we have, we don't know when that would come or if it would come, but it could come in this budget. That is it worth plugging anything in just in case we had any something that wasn't on the radar at all?
So we do have the 4 million in unanticipated. So if you don't include Scott Ranch Road, most of our projects are going to be below $1 million. So you can do 4 major projects with the amount of money we have currently in there. So I feel like we're probably okay at the 4 million. But
And even if we got funded for Scott Ranch Road, most of that expenditure would come the next budget year. Would be in design and everything this year, and we'd have enough room in this year's.
But as far as the effect it has on the expenditure limitation, grant funding does not affect that. So it would have a 0 impact. But I do feel like the 4 million is adequate to handle any future possibility.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments? Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I got a comment. Just thank you, Justin, and this is Bill B. of the work you guys do. I know with the COVID-19, been up and down, and what are we going to do? Where are we going to move things to? Or are we going to do what the council wants to do? And you guys put it right along with us and got everything put together for us. So definitely appreciate you guys' time and effort on that.
Thank you. And Carrie does spend a lot of time putting all the budget sheets together. If any of us had to do that on our own, we'd be in big trouble. That thing is complicated.
Well, she says she likes it too much, so we got to let her have it.
It's her happy time. Budget time.
You guys do an
Thank
amazing
you.
job, and I'll talk about that a little later tonight. But
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next item, we're going to move into
I think we
recess
need
it.
to adopt the resolution.
No, we're not going to do that.
Unless you want me to come back and give it again sometime.
No.
It's going to be the same next time.
I'll make a motion.
Balance here. Okay, I need a motion. Thank you.
I'll make a motion. I'll move to adopt resolution number R2020-14, adopting a tentative budget and establishing the expenditure limitations for fiscal year 2021 at $60,292,185.
Thank you. A motion was second by Councilmember Leach. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? That passed 6-0. Thank you. This time we need to recess, move into another meeting that will move into the Low Bluff Community Facilities District Board and adopt a tentative budget for fiscal years 2020-2021 for the district.
Need a motion for that or no? Just go.
Yeah, let's make a motion to move into that.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second by Councilwoman Thomas. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passed 6-0. This time, I'd like to call the meeting of the Shoal Community Facilities District Board to order. You ready there, Rachel? Okay, good. Roll call, see that all board members are present with the exception of Board Member Hatch. The item we have is consideration of resolution R2020-01, adopting the tentative budget and establishing the expenditure limitation for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. We have go through a tentative budget process with the board tonight. Our fiscal year 2021 tentative budget number is $169,480. The Low Bluff Community Facilities District was formed by the residents of the district in 2005. It's a separate unit of government from the city of Shoal. The debt issued must be covered by the district's assessed value, and the benefit of that debt, mostly for infrastructure, must be for the district. So there were two separate bonds issued, two separate types of bonds issued, a special assessment bond and a general obligation bond. There were multiple general obligation bonds. In 2007 is when the assessment bond was issued for a total of $2 million, $2,014,000. The annual debt service is $151,680. There are 227 total parcels, and the developer owns 56% of those parcels. There is currently an unbudgeted reserve of $231,000, which most of that comes in because people have paid off their assessment early. As far as the revenues go, again, the beginning fund balance, $264,000. And we do an assessment billing annually, and that totals $124,132. And there are two billings. In June, we have principal and interest, and in December, interest only. Then we have the general obligation bond. We don't have any dollars assigned to this one, but just as an FYI to the board or a reminder, in 2007, $480,000, 2011, $450,000. And we don't have any budgeted reserves. The general obligation bond was paid in full using reserves and also money from the developer that was paid off. So the property owners in the Low Bluff CFD are no longer assessed on their property tax bill for the general obligation bond because that has been paid off. Tentative budget adoption tonight through the resolution, and then establish the expenditure limitations. The budget will be advertised in the paper, and then we have the final budget adoption on July 21st. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Any questions of board members? And then I'll look for a motion. Councilwoman Kakavas.
I move to adopt resolution number R 2020-01, adopting the tentative budget and establishing the expenditure limitation for fiscal year 2021 at $169,480.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Kelly. Board Member Kelly. Any other discussion? And now I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passed 6-0. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next item we have is the minutes, I believe. The minutes of the Low Bluff Community Facility District Board of June 18th, 2019. Need a motion?
I'll move.
Have a motion is by Board Member Leach, second by Board Member Kakavas. All those in favor? Any opposed? That passed 6-0. Seeing no other business for this board, I'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you. We're back to our regular. Seeing that we're back into our regular meeting of the Show City Council. Next item we have is item 9, summary of current events. I look to council members for summary of current events. Councilwoman Kakavas.
I'd just like to remind everybody that COVID numbers are continuing to rise, not only in our state, but in our area. Our hospital is pretty full right now with positive COVID patients. We've had 4 deaths in our system, in the Summit system to date. So just encourage everybody to wash your hands, stay safe, and keep your distance from others.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyone else? Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Attended a couple of meetings this last couple of weeks. One is the Main Street board meeting. The corner of 9th here and the Deuce is almost done. We have more plants in there. What we're looking for now is just putting some lights on it, and then that project will be done. So we just want to encourage everybody, if they would like to go by and take a look at it. I think it showcases Show in a great way. And on behalf of the board, we just want to thank the Show staff and the Show Council for partnering with the Main Street and to make that corner look a lot better. So we want to thank you for all your stuff that you did with us and for us. And electricity is going to be there hopefully this week or next week. So the other one was Meals on Wheels Senior Center. Meals on Wheels Senior Center has been real active with this COVID-19 of doing meals all around the city of Show, and some in the county and some in Lakeside. So we're active. We're there for you. If you'd like to have a meal, please contact the Meals on Wheels Senior Center, and they'll be more than happy to put you on the list and help you out with some food and help you out in those stressful times that is going on. So we're doing good, and we, as a board of the Meals on Wheels Senior Center, would like to thank the city council and the staff for partnering with them too for everything that you do with them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick comment.
Councilmember Lee.
I just want to add to the Main Street project that Mike was just talking about. It's too bad. Can we paint those boxes over there so it can be invisible or brown or
We
anything?
wanted to remove them, but they won't let us do that.
They won't let us paint them maybe? It looks really nice, by the way. It looks really nice.
Yeah, Main Street did a good job.
Done a super job there. They really have. Just want to share here, for the 13th year in a row, our city was awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting Award from the Government Finance Officers Association for a comprehensive annual financial report for year ending June 30th, 2019. The certificate represents a significant accomplishment by our finance staff and is the highest form of recognition in governmental accounting and financial reporting. We want to congratulate our finance department staff on this outstanding achievement for the past 13 years. And you guys have done a great job. And I think the transparency that we have with the city of Show Low and our finances is next to none. And so we just want to commend you guys for that award that you've received for our city. Thank you very much. I want to just share thank you to our residents who helped with the COVID-19 drive that the city participated in along with Pinetop Lakeside and the Navajo County. The donations collected by the city, including food, cleaning supplies, and water, were delivered in several trucks and trailers to White River last Thursday afternoon to help those in need on the White Mountain Apache Reservation. They were extremely grateful for the donations. I want to special thank Councilmember Leach, Councilmember Hatch that worked with us all day, as well as the other council members who came and helped collect things and be able to help that drive. But I think it was just one of those things you had to be there to witness and see just the expression. They were down to, they had these bigger baskets, but they were down to 6 items that they could put in those baskets. That's all that they had for the people to pick up who were tested positive for COVID-19. And we filled a chapter house with food and with water and stuff. It was just great to be part of. And we're grateful that we can help and we can assist when we're able to. And we just want to thank a generous community for making that possible. I just want to say thank you and wish you all a patriotic 4th of July. May this be a time that you show your freedom, that you show that you're proud to be an American and you're proud to be able to stand on the 4th of July and know that many people have given their all so that we have those liberties and freedoms that we have. And may we take the time to teach it to our youth, to teach what the red, white, and blue really means, what it stands for, and maybe be one of those field of stars in that field that stands together, united, and know that those red and white stripes represent purity and they represent the blood of this nation. And may we have peace, and may we continue to be grateful for what we have. Let's be proud to be an American. And I just hope that you can have a great 4th of July, a safe 4th of July, and may we continue to be blessed from fires at this time. You all. City Manager, your report.
Thank you. Just a couple of things on public works projects. The contractor's been busy with slurry seals. You've noticed around town. They should finish the selected city streets this Friday. And the schedule for this final week is posted on our city's website. Also, work continues on the 24th Drive sewer main replacement project, the West Cooley and 8th Avenue water line replacement, and the North 16th Avenue sidewalk and walking path. And I think most of you've noticed on White Mountain Road, the new pavilion at the Meadow is taking shape on the north end of the Meadow. It's meant to replicate the Ellsworth barn that was tore down. It's smaller, but it's the same shape as that barn, and we've got many positive comments on that. And we appreciate our citizens' patience as we improve the infrastructure in Show Low. And then the other item I want to announce is I think most people are aware there's a blood shortage in Arizona, And if anyone's interested in donating blood, the American Red Cross is sponsoring a blood drive tomorrow at the city campus gym, 620 East McNeil, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And they do have spots available for donation. And there, a number you can call if you're interested is 800-733-2767. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else seconds or anything? Councilmember Kelly.
Thank you for your report on the gifts that were brought in. It was an excellent report. Appreciate the detail there and the volume this community came through with. Also, I just want to encourage people to try and pick a spot that won't be shielded by trees, tall trees in your area, in the direction of the football field to enjoy the high altitude fireworks that are going to be displayed. Of course, no ground features. Make the best of it. Share with another family or friend, but not large group. Just make the best of it. That's what I want to encourage people. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kelly. Nope.
Just to add to that, that fireworks show will be 9 p.m. on July 4th.
That's my alarm.
Scheduling the meetings or events, or any other meetings? I know we've got the retreat that we're looking at scheduling here on October 30th. We moved it one more day. We could all wear masks, but I think that's what we got scheduled October 30th.
Right.
From 9 to 5.
Just as a reminder, you don't have your first you don't have a meeting on the first Tuesday in July, so your next meeting will be July 21st.
All right, seeing no other business, I'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Hey, how come we don't have